Hello. At this time, I'm sure you already know what CEPEJ stands for. CEPEJ means the European Commission for the Efficiency of Justice, and the efficient it's just not to be fast delivering a sentence. To be efficient, it's the right balance between being speedy and having quality. And quality is as important as speed. That's why the CEPEJ has decided to create a specific working group on the quality of justice, which has been working for more than a decade, and we have produced a lot of documents and a lot of work which is very useful to every stakeholder in the area of justice and even outside justice.
So the CEPEJ, the European Commission for the Efficiency of Justice, has been looking at the deployment of information technology in the judiciary since many years. And lately we have been looking in particular at the application of artificial intelligence tools in the judiciary of our member states. And in particular we have been studying some tools which are qualified of predictive justice. Why this work? In a way, the issue of predicting decision is a new development, a new trend in some Council of Europe member states. There has also been lately a very interesting study about predicting the decision of the European Court of Human Rights, in which a group of scientists was able to detect whether there was violation or no violation of a court decision in the 79% of cases. So we said this is really the right moment for us to look at these applications and try to understand their potentials on the one hand, but also their inherent limitation. So the CEPEJ wants to be balanced in its approach. We say yes to artificial intelligence, provided that it can concretely meet the needs of the court professionals and of the users, and provided that it upholds high standards of quality of justice. So this work will consist in the publication of a scientific study on predictive justice tools, and of course it will try to detect what are the good sides of the applications of these tools and in what they can really help judicial professionals. We will be, of course, very attentive to underlining possible points of concern in respect of the European Convention on Human Rights, because we don't have to forget that these tools must be compliant with the requirements of Article 6 of the European Convention on Human Rights, as well as Article 14. So this is the first part of our work, the scientific study, and then the second part of our work will be as well the publication of an ethical charter on the application of artificial intelligence in judicial systems, because we consider that such application should be underpinned by fundamental values. So ethical chart, so the use of artificial intelligence techniques, in particular when these techniques apply to judicial decision, should be done in a way which is compatible with fundamental rights, in a way which takes into account the needs of the users. And we insist very much on the importance of the pluridisciplinarity, of having mixed teams of legal professionals and IT engineers who develop solutions for the judiciary. We will, of course, very much insist also on the need for transparency of the solutions developed. There has been an increased call in the society for opening the black box of algorithm, and so for being able to explain, let's say, the technical features behind the algorithm, and also in a way which is clear and which can be understood also by a normal user.
Pourquoi une éthique particulière pour l'utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle dans les systèmes judiciaires? Les algorithmes, l'intelligence artificielle en général, aujourd'hui promet d'extraordinaires réalisations dans tous les champs de la société. Regardons par exemple sur le jeu de Go. Aujourd'hui, la machine est en capacité de surpasser l'humain de manière complètement extraordinaire. Mais quand il s'agit de traiter d'humains, particulièrement en sciences sociales et en droit d'affaires judiciaires, il y a des spécificités tout à fait particulières. Certains pensent peut-être que par les mathématiques, nous sommes en capacité de transformer les hommes en atomes sociaux. Or, une décision judiciaire est autrement plus complexe. De nombreux paramètres peuvent être isolés et il peut y avoir certainement des bénéfices pour mieux connaître la jurisprudence. En revanche, dès lors que l'on touche à de la prédiction, c'est-à-dire de la prescription pour pouvoir décider à la place de l'humain, il y a de nombreux enjeux à prendre en considération. C'est pourquoi le Conseil de l'Europe, et spécifiquement la CEPEJ, aujourd'hui essaye de construire une charte éthique d'utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle, non pas pour empêcher, mais pour guider, pour que le secteur privé et le secteur public puissent s'investir dans ces algorithmes et les promesses technologiques au bénéfice de l'humain, et non pas pour créer ou aggraver des discriminations.
We need ethics because we need to ensure the respect of some fundamental values like transparency, fairness, the right to a fair judgment, and more generally to make sure that we ensure a human use of human-made artifacts.
The European Convention on Human Rights tells us that, as justice institutions, we need to provide fair procedures. We already know use of AI has led to over-policing, which puts unnecessary strain on over-policed neighborhoods. It has also led to under-policing, giving neighborhoods a sense of insecurity. Predictive artificial intelligence has led to discrimination because of racial bias in the data. Those are huge risks, and that is why we need to think about the ethics of using artificial intelligence in justice.
These systems generate public values, and since public values are more and more generated through the use of algorithms, we need an ethics for algorithms in order to assure that the proper values are generated.
Discrimination, opacity, black boxing, erasure of subjectivity are just some of the consequences of the use of automated decision-making systems. That's why we need ethics to prevent such negative consequences of automated decision-making systems.
Et je crois que pour comprendre le problème, il faut d'abord bien mesurer le fait que l'intelligence artificielle a une difficulté que je dirais presque congénitale à penser le social, dont elle suppose toujours le caractère uniforme. Pour concevoir une réflexion éthique, il faut commencer par se dire que les individus ne sont pas intégralement déterminés dans leurs choix, qu'ils ont une marge de liberté ou simplement de possibilité, et donc ces choix d'ailleurs ne sont pas tous rationnels au sens de la théorie des choix rationnels. Donc à partir de ce moment-là, l'éthique se repose de façon très différente, et ça n'est pas du tout impossible d'avoir une réflexion éthique à propos de l'intelligence artificielle, mais il faut bien voir que tendanciellement, ça n'est pas vers la réflexion éthique que l'intelligence artificielle se porte.
One of the very important activities we are taking now, it's on artificial intelligence in justice. And why is that? Because artificial intelligence in justice, it's already a reality. It's not something from the future, it's already the present, and we must be prepared to embrace the present and artificial intelligence in all fields of justice. That's why we have already done several debates, several discussions, even study sessions on artificial intelligence, and we have come to some conclusions that I would like to share with you. The first conclusion is we need an ethical chart on artificial intelligence. Otherwise, we may become in trouble, because if you don't have an ethical chart, then it can be chaotic. The second thing is that as we are a member, as we are a group within the Council of Europe, those ethical charts must encompass and must be totally in line with what are the core values of the Council of Europe. And that also means that they must be in line with all the rights and liberties enshrined in the European Convention of Human Rights. Another conclusion that we took is that there is more than one artificial intelligence. That's not only predictive justice. Predictive justice is just one of the ways that artificial intelligence can take, but there are other ways that artificial intelligence can develop, and we have also to be prepared to all those ways that artificial intelligence, all the shapes that artificial intelligence can take. And finally, and probably that's the most relevant because that's the human factor, we need to change mentalities. We need to prepare mentalities for the present and for the future, and that's why we will keep working with every stakeholder on artificial intelligence. That's my message to you, and if you have any ideas, please don't be shy and share them with us. Thank you very much.